All right. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome to a Monday. It is December the 8th, and I'm Chris Allen, and this is 270 weather for the 270 area code and beyond. So, we've had a day today in which we've, had a little bit of light snow, nothing that was significant as far as accumulation. Some of you got a little dusting. I was watching the newest AAA Systems camera over in Glasgow that we used for the Glasgow Christmas parade Saturday night, and just it was just beautiful. All the pretty little snowflakes falling, and it started to collect in a couple of areas, like on sidewalks and in grassy areas, but then it just went away. That's because yesterday we had a high of 47. That saved us from getting any real foundation of cold air, cold enough to keep whatever falls on the ground or on surfaces. It was temporary. And, I was saying that this one, like the last two, three, well, the last couple of times we've had these kind of systems come through, it's no big deal. It's nothing. I mean, you get a little something out of it and then it's gone. These are not big snow producing systems. These are what we call clipper systems. And when they come through, they're moving very fast. They have limited moisture. And so they don't have time to produce anything big. So when you start to see all the hype on social media, that first storm was supposed to be the biggest one. What did we get? A dusting. Second one, this one looks a little more. What did we get? A dusting. This one last night and this morning, dusting. Now, I will say that there's going to come a point at some point this winter season, just based on the signals that are out there, based on the way the jet stream is flowing, we're going to get maybe one or possibly more big snows. And when I say big snow, I'm talking about 6 inches or more. To us here in southern Kentucky, that's a big snow. That's the kind of snow that can shut some things down, can cause, of course, travel issues and other problems like closing school. I think it's coming. Just the way the atmosphere is behaving. I use that behaving because it has its own behavior. And from what I've seen so far, and maybe what's coming down the road, I think it's very likely it can happen. So yeah, it is what it is, and it's going to be an active winter season because of that. So just get ready. And I can even right now, in a few moments, show you that the incoming Arctic blast may not be as deep of an Arctic blast as what was first thought. New data coming in kind of eases it off a little bit. And really, I think we're going to get through this weekend cold, very cold, yes, but unprecedentedly so? No. Record breaking so? No. Uh Again, it's going to be one of those times when we get a big cold snap and everybody's like shivering and you got to turn your heat up and it's going to be like that, and then we're going to warm back up next week. All the details are coming up in just a moment. But first, how is your heating system? Is it working? because I'm sure you needed it today because we only made it into the 30s. But your heating system probably needs a good check, and you need to let R&R Controls, our sponsor, take a look at it. How long has it been since somebody's come out besides yourself and taken a look at your entire system to see if it's working properly? Have you changed filters? Do you do that on a regular basis, like once a month? Oh yeah, that's how often you're supposed to do that. But what if you're running a much bigger system, like for your business? Is somebody taking care of that? If not, you could be in serious trouble when cold, extreme cold, comes in like we're expecting this weekend. Why not call R&R Controls, have them come out, schedule a time when they can come out and take a look at your system, whether it's your home, whether it's your business, no matter how big, how small, they can do this. It's called preventative maintenance. It's kind of like when you go to the doctor and get checked up and he takes your blood and he checks your numbers. Then he makes adjustments. If you need this medicine or that medicine, or you need to maybe watch your cholesterol or watch your A1C and all that. It's maintenance. And sometimes it's preventative maintenance. In other words, trouble can come down the road and you can't prevent everything. But if there's something, if there are steps you can take to make yourself better, healthier, then you take those steps. Same thing with your heating, cooling, ventilation system. You need somebody to check it out. R&R Controls, over 40 years of experience, are qualified to do that. And again, no matter how big of a or small of a system, they can take care of it. 270-777-2024 is the number to call. Right there at the top of this graphic. 270-777-2024. Or you can go to rnrhvac.com, because with R&R, you'll never be without the things that you need. They take care of it, start to finish. All right. Let's look at the numbers from today, this Monday, December 8th, here at 5:55 in the PM, Bowling Green, Kentucky, here from the Bowling Green Warren County Regional Airport. High of 42. Yeah, a little cooler than yesterday, but not that much, even with the clouds. And that 42 actually happened early this morning. 9 degrees colder than the normal of 51. The low, 35. Precipitation, 0.03 of an inch. Most of that was rain. Most of it. A little bit of it was snow. But that's all. That's all we got. Even with all those big snowflakes that some of you saw today, that's it. That's all you get. That's all you got. All right. Here's a look at radar satellite as we approach the 6 p.m. hour with current temperatures. And you can see the clearing line has been setting back here in Western Kentucky pretty much all day. But now when the radar scan's going around, it's not seeing any precipitation. It's just low clouds. And like we saw with, or have seen with the last two systems, or is it three? See, I can't remember. It's been 2 or 3 of these rapid fire clipper systems that have come through, produced a little bit of snow, and then it's gone. Every one of these had leftover clouds like we're seeing right now, and they're hard to scrub out. But eventually they will tonight. It's 35 in Bowling Green right now, but Madisonville is showing 28. That's the difference that a clear sky can make versus a cloudy sky. And there is the live HazCam shot from Litchfield in Grayson County, in which You're still seeing the low clouds with a temperature of 32. But if we go back into far western Kentucky, into Gage, the city of Gage, look at all the stars. It's a clear sky with a temperature of, look at that, 29. And I think that tonight, with a clear sky, high pressure overhead, a cool, damp ground, and a wind that's going to start to move from the south overnight, and it's going to be a little bit warmer, that wind. Once that goes over the cool, damp ground, I think, especially where the skies have cleared, like in western Kentucky, there's going to be fog in the morning. Whether that fog develops here in Bowling Green in southern Kentucky is questionable, but still. And if it does form, it would be maybe freezing fog, because we're going to get down into the 20s, upper 20s tonight, maybe some mid 20s. So in the morning, some of that fog could be freezing on surfaces, something that we'll have to watch for tomorrow. Here's a look at the Kentucky Mesonet data live and in real time at 5:58 p.m. Temperatures are in the 30s. There's a couple of 20s now starting to show up where the clear skies are, as I've just showed you in western Kentucky. How about temperatures for the day? 40s here in Bowling Green, low 40s or around 40. That was it as far as high temperature. Officially, though, 42 here at the airport. How cold has it been today? The coldest temperature is the current temperature, right about 30, 31, 32, 33. Winds are still coming out of the north, very light, still from the north, but overnight, the winds will start to shift from the south. And that will be the beginning of the warmer air that is going to be with us tomorrow, along with sunshine. We are actually going to see sunshine tomorrow. Yeah, believe it or not, sunshine. No, thank you. Oh, please. I'd like to thank all the little people. Wait a minute. I'd like to thank all the little people for this award. Thank you. I'm the one that's bringing back the sunshine. Thank you. Thank you so much. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding you guys. It's one of those moments that the crowd just goes wild. But yes, warmer temperatures and sunshine tomorrow. I just like playing with you guys. It's so much fun. And you enjoy it. Come on, you know you enjoy it. Yeah, if you don't, then there's something wrong with you. All right. Yes, I said that. Here's a look at the maps, and you can see our system departing out of Kentucky into West Virginia, the country roads that take you home to a place where you belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, and the higher elevations of Virginia, the state of Virginia, and parts of North Carolina. But this is done for us. Okay, skies are clearing west to east slowly, but they are. Here comes our warm front. And what did I just say? The winds will start to shift from the south. Beneath that warmer air, the warm front that you see right there. This is showing direction. And so those little blips and bubbles, the red bubbles, that shows you the direction of the front, which is northeast. So the winds are going to be coming from the southwest. And that means warmer air. And look, Here's the possibility of fog. This is midnight, but let's go further. 6 a.m., yeah, there still could be some fog somewhere with that warm front as it comes in. Again, warmer air going over a cool, damp ground. And in some cases, maybe still a little snowpack. Doubtful that most of you have that, but there could be somebody, especially north of Bowling Green, that still has a little snow on the ground. That's with a clear sky, a perfect setup for fog. I'm not saying everybody's going to have it tomorrow morning, but just be looking out for it. Here we go, 12 noon tomorrow. It's going to become breezy. Southwest winds, 10 to 20. Notice these isobars, not really tightly packed, but packed a little bit more together, which means it's going to be breezy. But a nice day. Here's 6 p.m. tomorrow evening. Notice they get a little bit closer to each other. The winds will start to pick up even more as we head into Tuesday night. And here's our next clipper making its way through the Great Lakes. And look how far north the rain gets. Why is that? Why aren't they getting snow? You're right. Warmer air. And there's going to be, here's the thing. I meant to zoom out. Let me zoom out here. Here's the thing I want you to see. This is a clipper. This is a clipper. Here's a few more clippers. And these things are going to dive down out of Canada, get into the trough, the jet stream taking a big dive. That's a trough. And that usually means colder air. Even though we're going to see a warm up tomorrow, it's not going to last because that big Arctic blast is going to come in later this week and into the upcoming weekend. So here's Wednesday morning with breezy conditions, the wind shifting now more westerly on the heels of this clipper system, and all of it will be rain. There's not going to be any snow with this particular system. Now, on the backside of it, if there's some leftover moisture as colder air returns, somebody somewhere, specifically in the higher elevations of central and eastern Kentucky, may see a brief mix. But as far as it being anything significant, no. Again, this will be another nothing burger. See, look, I got to say this while I'm thinking about it, or else I'm going to forget it. We have gotten so used to making a big deal out of every single storm that comes by. And I don't mean storm like severe storm, although we have. In my opinion, we've made too much out of every little system that comes across. And now in the wintertime, oh, how much snow are we going to get? Well, we may get a little bit, but it's not a big deal. None of these are a big deal. You know what the bigger deal is this week? The cold air. These little bits of snow, even if you pick up an inch, that's not a big deal. I am sorry if you disagree with me, and I know there are people that do. Well, you just don't understand, Chris Allen, because, oh my gosh, we could have an accident and kids wouldn't be able to make it to school, and oh, an inch of snow. And man, I know there's a generational gap, but I just think we've become really, really weak as it pertains to weather. We think every storm is severe, and we think every snow is going to make things slick and hazardous and we can't go anywhere, which is ridiculous. Take that for what you will, but that's my opinion. This is my podcast, and that's what I think. That's not only what I think, it's what I know. Because I've grown up with all of this, happening over and over and over again. And there was no way that some of these, I mean, it's just people have not learned how to drive in this kind of stuff through generations. It's gotten weaker and weaker and weaker. And every dark cloud that comes up, we think it's going to be a tornado. And it's just ridiculous to think that way. No wonder we live in fear all the time. And then to make matters worse, you get these yahoos on social media throwing up all these big colorful maps and telling us that it's going to be Armageddon, and nothing happens. And then where are they? Where did they go? Drive-by hyper forecasting. It's running rampant, and the problem is now they're getting paid to do it. These are just little hits of snow. Here's Thursday. Look at that. Not much, and most of it will be mixed with a little bit of rain or sleet. Here comes the next clipper. This is Friday. Now, behind this clipper is really, I guess you could say, the mother lode of cold air. Look at all of that snow. Now, with such a broad area, practically all the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, the Midwest, and east of the Rockies is going to have snow. But can you tell me by looking at this map how much? No. Some places will get a little, and some places will get a lot, especially up here in the Great Lakes. But for us, as I've stated so many times, if you've been watching me lately, we are due north of the Gulf. Therefore, we're sitting in a spot that it's going to be really, 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 really hard to get a big snow. It just doesn't happen that much for us. And this one's going to be the same. Look how fast it's out of here. This is Saturday morning. The coldest air, probably of the season, will be upon us with a north breeze, which is going to create possibly some single-digit wind chills Saturday. Saturday is going to be the coldest. Here's Sunday, but by Monday, look what happens. High pressure moves east, and this means what? See that? Warmer southwesterly winds. Whatever or however cold you get Friday night and Saturday night, those are going to be the two coldest. It's still not going to be record breaking. It's still not going to be unprecedented. It's still not really going to be, you could even not really even call it extreme. It's just going to be really cold, but only for 2 days. And then we warm back up. That's the pattern that we're in right now. So, yes, it's going to get cold, but then it's going to move on pretty quickly. It's not going to linger. Let's move on to and do the comparison, as I always like to do, with the latest European model, which has become very reliable, even more reliable than the standard GFS models that we've been using for decades. Here we go with tonight and that little system moving on, but you can just watch up here in the plains, upper Midwest, Great Lakes. You can watch one system after another come in. See, there's one. Boom. Now this is the one on Wednesday when we're like, what, 52? Guess what? 52 is exactly where we're supposed to be for a high temperature this time of the year. We haven't been 52 in a long time. But we get back there. Notice the freeze line, the rain snow line, that thick blue line dividing the cold air and the warm air. Notice we're under the warm air on Wednesday. So every bit of that will be rain. Now, as it exits, some parts of northern Kentucky may see something change over with a little bit of colder air. Notice the trough digs here as we get into Thursday. But watch, here comes another system. And here we go. Boom, boom. This is Friday. Now we're going to see the coldest. Look, there's a little bit of snow, but most of it is north of Bowling Green. This is Friday. And here we go into Friday night, into Saturday. Now, this European model doesn't make us as cold as what we first thought. So what does that mean? Some of the models have us in the deep freeze, others maybe not so much. Guess which way I'm going to lean? Maybe not so much. Yeah, because that's typical Kentucky. Typically in Kentucky, this is not the kind of pattern that you want to have a deep, 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 deep freeze with 0-degree temperatures or below 0 temperatures or record-breaking cold. It's just not. There's that line again that slices right through Kentucky every single time, just about, it happens. Here we go into Sunday. Trough does deepen a little bit into Monday, but then look, it retreats. Here we go into Tuesday. Watch this. Look at that. And we saw this. If you were watching me last night, you saw this, how we get into Tuesday, Wednesday, the middle of next week. And look at that rain snow line retreating north. That's because warmer air is taking over. It's going to warm back up. So whatever cold we get this weekend is not going to last. And here's the blender, the model blender showing the same thing. So we may go 48 to near 50 tomorrow after being at 26 or so tonight, mid to upper 20s. Then we only drop off from 48 to 40. It's going to be 40 at night, Tuesday night. Then get up to 53, the breezy. Remember I talked about the breezy southwest winds that are going to take over overnight tonight, and especially tomorrow, into Wednesday. That's going to mean all the difference. You're going to think, it's, wow, this feels good. 53 feels warm. Yeah, compared to what we've had lately, it is going to feel warm. But then here comes the first of those Clipper systems, or the next in line is what I really should say. We only get up to, look, we go from 40 Tuesday night into Wednesday. We go 53, then we go 30 to 42 to 32 to 50, up and down, topsy-turvy go the temperatures. And here comes the next shot of cold air, and this one's the coldest, but look, these numbers are not as cold as what I showed you last night. And that is why I showed you what I showed you, in that now the models have kind of backed off of that extreme cold. Well, that's relative, of course. Extreme cold as we call it. I don't see any single digits here. I don't see any near zero temperatures, nothing record breaking. To go from a high of 32 on Sunday down to 18, that's not that big of a deal. In fact, we've already done that. And here it is still officially fall. It's not winter yet. We have already had a day or two like 32 for a high and 18, 19 for a low. That's already happened. So this doesn't look all that unprecedented. Then look how we warm back up. Low to mid 40s, upper 40s, as we head into the middle of next week, which next week and the following weekend would be the weekend. I heard you. The weekend before Christmas. And like clockwork, this evening, as I was what some people call dead scrolling, I was just kind of looking at, I like to look at some of these, things that people put out there. I can tell you that the big next social media blow up is going to be either how cold or how warm Christmas will be and how stormy or snowy. There's going to be some conclusion drawn from that. And then you may be thinking, well, why aren't you talking about Christmas? Because it's what? Today is the 8th, 10, 12, 15 days? We don't, there's no way I can know or with any good conscience tell you what to expect for Christmas. It's just crazy to even go there. But I guarantee you, you're either going to see it tonight or for the next couple of days, you're going to see these yahoos again getting on social media and going, here's the Christmas forecast. And then they'll say, oh, wait, this is not a forecast. Yeah, we're just kind of playing here with the models and we're just kind of, here are the what ifs and the wherefores. Golly, no wonder we go around fearful of the weather all the time because we've got people like that other people believe, and then they click like and share. They share it with somebody else. Then they come back to me or the people that have experience forecasting and doing weather, and they say, well, why aren't you talking about it? You don't seem to understand that, this is going to be a big deal because so-and-so said so. So-and-so named Weather Center. Whoop-de-doo. Do they ever put their real name on this stuff? A lot of them that are kind of fakey, they're kind of just in it for the hype, do not ever put their personal real name with their posts. Those are the ones you need to be careful of. Some of them may be legitimate, but a lot of them are not. They will go, this is the blah, blah, blah weather center. And I'm like, whoop-de-doo. Who are you? What kind of experience do you have? Are you just pulling random models from the internet and just posting them up there to get clicks, likes, and shares? Yes. Those are the posers that post, and the hype casters. You just cannot trust them. So I would just be very careful because I know a lot of you have plans for Christmas. You may be traveling hundreds of miles to go somewhere, and already somebody's telling you how extreme, one extreme or the other, it's going to be for Christmas. Oh my God, you should just stay home. No, just don't fall for it. I will let you know in plenty of time for you to plan on how Christmas is going to be. But when you're 15 days away, it's not going to be accurate. It's just not. It's just not. I've seen it happen too many times. And when I started forecasting and doing television weather, I was guilty of the same thing. This is how I know. This is how I know what I speak of because I've experienced it myself. And I was called out for it. And this was way before social media, but I was called out for it. And man, you talk about a crushing blow, but it's what I needed. It's exactly what I needed. I needed somebody to go, dude, what are you doing? You cannot you can't talk on TV about a forecast that's 15 to 20 days away and this is going to happen because you want to look like a hero. Forget it. And I forgot it, man. I just let that go. And I'm like, from now on, it's got to be trustworthy. It's got to be right. It's got to be as close as possible to what reality is going to bring around. And every once in a while, we're going to miss it. Every once in a while, we're going to get it wrong. I still get it wrong, but I will tell you that I get it wrong. You'll see me on television and right here tell you when it's wrong. Hey, guys, I blew it. That forecast today sucked, and it's my fault. But I would be just as guilty if I didn't call out some of these other yahoos who are trying to sucker you into their page, and they do the funny bits. Now they're using artificial intelligence to write their forecast, and it's, so this forecast is going to be like your grandmother slapped you in the face. What? And then after you read all that, you're laughing, chuckling. At the end of it, do you know what the forecast is? No. Oh, but it was a good read. So, oh my God. All right. I'm done. Thank you, guys, for being there and supporting 270 Weather, News 40 as well. I'll be there tomorrow morning, bright and early, 6 a.m., News 40 sunrise, and then News 40 at 9, News 40 at noon. In the meantime, have a great evening. Thank you for watching. And I mean this when I say, God bless you.